7.2 is looking at financial information to create our balance sheet. So we just created an income statement. Now we're going to create a balance sheet, and we're going to end up creating what's called an owner's equity statement. So the financial condition of a business is always referring to the financial strength, and the most adequate way for us to show that as a business is through our assets and liabilities, which is what is going to be found on our balance sheet. So we're going to get information to prepare a balance sheet from our worksheet, our account title column, and the balance sheet column that we completed back in chapter 6. So the four headings or the four sections of our balance sheet are going to be the heading, the asset section, our liability section, and then our owner's equity section. The heading is always going to be centered, company name, and then the report, in this case, the balance sheet, followed by the date. The balance sheet is going to be completed with the assets over here on the left, and then our liabilities and our owner's equity, just like our accounting equation, all the way back in chapter 1. So there's the steps to create our balance sheet. I would really encourage you to read through those, but we are going to end up completing that in MindTap. Something to point out, though, is when we end up finding this capital amount, we're going to have to do a little calculation. So if we had a net income in our business, which we would know by now after doing our income statement, we would take our original capital balance, add in our net income, subtract out the balance of our drawing account, and then that would be the current capital amount, which we would record on our balance sheet. If we had a net loss, we would just start with our capital balance, subtract out our net loss, and then subtract out our drawing account, and then that in turn would give us our current capital. We can also do that by completing what's called an owner's equity statement. So we would start with our total owner's equity here, and then we would add in our net income, and then we would subtract out our drawing, which would give us a cumulative amount to be added to our new capital amount, which would then we would take that and put it on our balance sheet. So let's go perform this in MindTap. So 7-2 work together. We are completing the heading of the balance sheet. Our company is all Painter Pros, and it is April 30th. So first row is always the name of the company. All Pro Painters. I said that backwards. Sorry. Okay. The first thing we're doing is, or the second thing is to put the name of the statement. So in this case, we are preparing a balance sheet. Then we're going to do our date, and we're just going to list it as is. So April 30th, 20 --. All right. Next, we need to determine what accounts are going to be showcased on our balance sheet. So all our asset accounts, cash, petty cash, accounts receivable, supplies, and prepaid insurance will all be on our balance sheet. Any liability, so accounts payable, and then our owner's equity account, but it's only going to be our capital account because we're going to end up closing our drawing account into capital. So everything below that, below capital, is going to be neither, because we have already either A, listed it on our income statement, or we're going to end up closing it into owner's equity anyways, which is our capital. Okay, now we're going to create that statement of owner's equity to get our updated capital balance. So our current capital balance, if we go to our worksheet, we are going to look at our balance sheet side, and we're going to go right to our capital account here. So we're starting with $3,500. Next, we are going to list our net income, which is going to be found at the bottom of our worksheet, $3,730. Then we're going to list out our drawing, 1,200. Now it tells us right here, net income less Dwight Sundin drawing. So we are going to take our net income, subtract our drawing from it, which gives us $2,530. This is going to be the amount that we're going to add to capital. So our new capital total is going to be $6,030. I found that by taking 3,500 plus 2,530. All right, next we're going to bring down our balances. So our first balance here is going to be cash. Make sure that you are not using balances from the trial balance. You want to be looking at our balance sheet columns over here because remember we've updated our supplies balance and we've updated prepaid insurance. So if you pulled the balances from the trial balance, those would be incorrect. So we're looking at our balance sheet columns. Our first asset here is cash, 4,750. Next is petty cash, 75. Our two accounts receivable accounts, 825 and 715. And then our supplies account, which is 110, and prepaid insurance 320. 110, prepaid insurance 320. Okay, then we're going to put in our two liability accounts. So back up here, looking at my balance sheet column, 275 for Belmont. And 490 for the other. Then my updated capital amount. So this is where MindTap isn't really your friend. What I would do if I were you is just go back a step and pull that amount. Or if you remember it, it was $6,030. If you forgot, it's simply just taking starting capital, subtract out your drawing, add in your net income, and that's our total. All right, final step is just proving that our debits equal our credits here. So all of our assets equal the liabilities plus owner's equity, which is our accounting equation. So if I add up all my assets, I get 6,795. And if I add up my two liability accounts and my capital account, I also get 6,795. The last thing I want to tell you guys is in Canvas, this should be published, is this income statement and balance sheet. It's kind of a cheat sheet. It breaks down how to find current capital. So it's kind of like a flow chart. If you have a net income, you're going this way. If you have a net loss, you're going this way. Okay, so that should help you when finding that current capital amount if that's still a little fuzzy for you. So make sure that you complete the on your own and terms.